All right, so I just got done testing the new update in PUBG, patch 20.1. So I'm going to show you guys some footage and go through the patch notes. So let's get into it. The test server is available right now. So if you guys have PC, you can go and try it out. But it will be going live on October 12th officially, and then it won't be on console until October 20th. And you should know by now that there is no test server on console anymore. You just have to wait until it goes live on the 20th, which is also when the Dead by Daylight event is going to be happening, is on October 20th. So big news for, I guess it's for every region, but I'm mostly focused on NA and EU right now because that's the people that will be watching this video. We have a new map rotation, which again, if you're not familiar with what PUBG's been doing over the last year or two, is that they are rotating maps in and out. And for the first time in a long while, they are rotating out Miramar. So it's pretty rare for them to rotate out Miramar. They've never rotated out Erangel, as far as I can remember. So the current map rotation is going to be Erangel, Destin, Tego, Sanhok, and Karakin. And then for rank, they are keeping Miramar in. So the original 3 ranked maps, Erangel, Miramar, and Tego. Well, Tego's not original, but those are staying put. So interesting here. A lot of people online are upset that Miramar is going away. For me, it's a great map, but I think it's nice to take a break. And if you're upset by it, it's only a month or two, and then it will be back. And we should be getting Vikendi back in the next month or so as well. But for me, I think it's a great idea to rotate maps out. I would personally like to see Erangel always in. And now that there's so many other great maps in the game, Miramar does feel a bit slow, especially in solos for me. So I'm very excited for it to be gone for a month or two. And then recently PUBG put out a dev letter where they're talking about how they want to change kind of the meta for the guns and the attachments. As you know, there are some very popular attachments like the VERT grip. Everybody just loves to use it. And there's also some very popular weapons like the barrel or the M4 or the SLR that get used the most. And PUBG put out the data proving that that's true. So instead of going through every individual stat line here, basically the takeaway here is to know that PUBG is trying to make it where there are more options for you, the players, to use while you're playing the game and to make it a little bit more balanced across the board. So we're seeing, I guess, really not a huge change to the VERT grip right now. Well, the sway control is being nerfed to 0, so that we are seeing a nerf from the VERT grip, and the vertical recoil obviously saying the same. It is a vertical foregrip. And then we are seeing slight changes in buffs to a lot of the grips. The thumb grip got a huge buff here. It got increased vertical grip. The ADS speed went up by 10%, and sway control breathing, I guess that's unchanged. And then we're just seeing, the angled grip getting a little bit of an increase, and just changes kind of across the board here. So I think, the angled foregrip is going to be definitely a better option to take. I'm interested in using the thumb grip here with even faster ADS speed. I think that's going to make a nice difference. And then you can go through and check this out. But basically, after this update goes live, you're going to want to maybe practice with some of the other grips and see what works best for you, especially in conjunction with the new heavy stock that PUBG put out. You might, have that and then the thumb grip and really feel like you have a good combination. So I think usually more options is better up until a point. I don't want to have 1,000 different attachments. When I went to go play Call of Duty recently, there's like 100 different grips and stuff like that, or muzzle attachments. To me, that gets a little too crazy and in the weeds. But if you're going to have these options in the game, they might as well be viable. And that's what PUBG is trying to do. So I think that's really exciting, and big kudos to PUBG. And it does get boring when everyone's just using a VERT grip, right? At least in my opinion. Then moving to the vehicles. So these changes are interesting. This is an easy one to go quickly through. Basically, PUBG is nerfing the drive-by shooting, which is very easy in PUBG. And if you're not really sure why it's so easy in PUBG, well, when you're moving in a vehicle, the game kind of has you stationary. So you can hit very accurate shots from a moving target. And then you also have some cover because around the vehicle you have cover, right? So there's potential for shots to be blocked against you. So it's very OP to do drive-by shooting, but these changes are only going to be applied to PC. And I've talked to PUBG in the past, and really the data shows that there's still not that many people drive-by shooting on console. The amount of drive-by kills on console are a lot lower than on PC. Obviously, they're much more accurate with the mouse. So these changes are only applying to PC, which I'm happy about because I definitely personally abuse the drive-by shooting on console. And if you haven't tried it, it's definitely something that can really step up your game and make you, I'm not going to say OP, but you definitely have an advantage when you're doing that. So I'm actually happy they're fixing it for PC. And if it ever gets bad on console, I do hope that they apply the changes to console, even though it would affect me. And then interesting here, they are bringing back the 8x scope, and I don't know about the 15 times scope, but I guess every scope now is available on the M16 and on the Mutant. So I was able to try this out in game. And when PUBG first launched, you could put the 8 times on the M16. They eventually took away that feature. I didn't play back then, but that's got a very nostalgic vibe for a lot of original PUBG players. And what's great about this is that now you can actually keep the M16 longer, and it kind of competes as a DMR now. I think it will allow or give people more of a reason to pick it up, or instead of swapping to a mini or a SLR, I guess you could say. And what's nice about this is that the bullet drop on an M16 is worse than a mini. So for me, I would rather have a mini, but now that you have an 8 times, you can actually meter those shots and actually hit longer range shots. So you could actually compete with somebody that has a DMR, which is nice. Then moving on, we have the 4 scope reticle type. So here, if you haven't noticed, I'll make my webcam a little smaller. I think any veteran player of PUBG would recognize this, that depending on the weapon that you pick up and its ammo type, you get presented with a different style 4x scope. So on the left, we have what it looks like when you're using a sniper or DMR. Then we have the 5.56. I made my webcam really small, but we have the 5.56 one that has the chevron aimer, and then we have the 7.62 reticle when you're using the AK or the Mutant. It has this on the 4x. So it seems like what I've heard in the community, my personal feeling is that this one all the way to the right is one of the least liked reticles because it's very large there. Most people like the chevron and the one that is on the left. So now you can just change this. On PC, you can do this in game. And I forget on console, if you're going to be able to do this, I think you actually have to go into the settings, which is kind of lame. On PC, it's so nice. You can just kind of rip through the different options by hitting page up or page down. But a year or two ago, they made this all in the settings on console. So again, this update is heavy on the quality of life changes. No major gameplay changes, just a lot of quality of life stuff here. Then season 20 rewards. This is kind of the same season to season. The next PGC is happening, so you guys will see billboards for this. It's happening November 1st to November 20th in Dubai. So very cool. There's going to be new skins and all that stuff included in the game. Then Destin, they're changing the phase 1 and phase 2 circle. There's a little bit of a delay for phase 1, which I like. And the radius rate was increased for phase 2 as well. I think this makes sense because the circles were pretty quick in Destin and the map is so big. I feel like you could definitely slow down the first or 2 circles and then it should speed up, in my opinion, to go a little faster. Then here we have the O12 now can finally take scopes, which is really cool. The O12 is the only shotgun that takes slugs, so you can actually shoot it at a farther rate. So to balance it out, they made it where you couldn't have scopes, but since I'm guessing not that many people use this gun, they've brought back the scopes from 2 to 6. I tried it out today. I hit a 239 meter kill, single fire. Obviously, this is something that you wouldn't be able to do in a normal game, I think, all the time. This was against a bot. However, you can effectively use this gun from up to 100 to 150 meters. I've definitely used it in a regular match before this update with just a red dot. So definitely try this thing out in single fire if you haven't. It's just fun to use it. And it is pretty powerful when you get the hang of it. Then also we're seeing a jammer pack nerf. So I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this. I would have liked this nerf in a different way, but my opinion doesn't really matter at this point. It's just what PUBG is doing. And what they did here is they decreased the jammer pack, or the damage is increased by 27%. So why it's going to take more blue damage by 27%. So the blue zone will run out, or the jammer pack will run out faster. And then they also made it where it's only spawning on Miramar, Karakin, Haven, and Destin, which is interesting because I feel like this was originally launched on Sanhok, and now it's not on Sanhok, it's not on Erangel, it's just on those 4 maps. So I feel like Miramar, it's great for that. Destin, it makes sense. Haven and Karakin, that's where you see a lot of people hang in the blue because they're already small maps to begin with. But we'll have to see how it plays. And obviously those maps don't really come around that much to begin with. PUBG's also added more sunset weather here on Erangel. And I think PUBG is doing an amazing job updating the game, bringing it into the 21st century by making these really beautiful weather settings. I think by this time next year, we're going to see PUBG where all of the maps have great settings, great colors, great, like just great feel. And I honestly think it might bring some people back because like these screenshots that PUBG has been posting, just everything looks so good. It looks more of a modern game with these settings. Like just it's kind of amazing how the lighting can make the game feel more modern instead of like a washed out look that's sometimes happens in some games and with PUBG. Then I'm gonna skip the wardrobe change here, just some preset stuff, no big deal. This is a very nice quality of life feature. So PUBG implemented the carry feature, if you haven't played in a while, where you can pick up a fallen teammate or even a fallen enemy. And for this, they're actually making this, make my webcam bigger again. They're actually making this faster to use and removing some of the bugs that have been happening. So now you can pick up somebody while they're moving a little bit. It's a little bit more fluid. I tested it out on PC and it did feel a lot better. So that's good. And they also made it have a dedicated button now, which is H on PC, and for Xbox, it's left bumper and X at the same time, which was really crucial. On Xbox, it was literally the same button as revive. So it was so difficult to pick between reviving and picking up when you were in a crucial kind of quick moment there. Then also another quality of life improvement is they've made it where the markers now will become opaque when you look at them, which is nice, or the opacity goes down, or they're see-through, I guess is the right way to say it. And I always use that word incorrectly because I think of the opacity meter in Photoshop. But basically, when you look at a marker now, it will be kind of see-through. And then after 30 seconds, they will go away, which is good. And then the screen marker is also going to be introduced into ranked mode, which I think is fine. Less hardcore, but that is a really great feature. Also, now when you go into your inventory, you can ping things in your inventory in the radio message. I really like this as well. I think this is really helpful for people on console who oftentimes don't play with a mic. So you can let people know I have 1 first aid or I have 7 first aids. Do you need one? And it seems like PUBG also wants to make it where there's more things that you can use in the radio message system, which I think is overall just better for the game and people that might not be using a mic. And then we have some new UI changes, graphic options, voice chat, plain UI, etc. Oh, this is one I want to mention. They're adding the number of remaining players to the plain UI, which again, you could just kind of quickly count the little boxes that are filled in on the plane, but now it's just giving you the data in a faster way. And this does not apply to the comeback arena. So again, it's kind of the same thing. Like they're just making it a little bit easier for players. And to me, anything that is like the data's there and they're just making it easier for you to see, I think is fine. So I like these stuff. They're just trying to make the game a little bit better. And then for people that play TDM, now you'll be able to save a preset for your TDM rounds, which is awesome. I don't play a ton of TDM, but I know the TDM sweats out there will love this. So GG's for them. And then some new outfits and stuff like that and hideout stuff. This stuff we can all skip, just extra UI stuff and bug fixes. I went through the bug fixes. I didn't see anything too amazing or ridiculous that we should point out. Basically, the recap here is that this is a quality of life update. We are going to get the more radio messaging. The ping is getting improved. We have O12 can now take scopes, PGC stuff in the game. We have more options for the 4x scope. M16 now can have a 8x or 15x, I guess. And drive-bys are getting nerfed on PC. And the initial or the start of balancing between the attachments and the weapons is starting with this update, and we'll probably see more over the next 6 months. So that's it, guys. If you want to catch this gameplay live, again, you can check it out for yourself, or you can follow me here on YouTube, subscribe, or follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/blitz5 and friends, or you can follow me on Twitter at blitz5 to get the latest and greatest information when I'm going live, PUBG information, and all that good stuff. So as always, thank you all for watching. I'm Blitz5, and peace out.